since Lindemann is starting his tour, there are going to be a lot of vulnerable young women going to these concerts. And I would feel personally really bad if I didn't put out a safety video before the first concert and something happened. We had another Shelby situation, right? And also, since I'm going to be going to this concert myself, I know, I'm very well aware of the fact that I am putting myself in a great deal of danger, in a very vulnerable position. Even though I myself am not a teenager anymore, I've been told that I look young for my age, and so maybe Till Lindemann will look at me and he'll think, who is that beautiful 15-year-old girl with those enchanting eyes, right? So I have to be prepared. He might mistake me for a teenager. I have to be prepared for what might happen. So I want to get right into some of my safety tips for surviving a Lindemann concert without being sexually assaulted or whatever. So we're going to go over several safety tips. So here we go. I've got several of them for you. First of all, any drink that you consume, it needs to be tested, because as we know, not only does Till Lindemann drug innocent women at these things, but he probably has like a lab, honestly, in his house and like chemists working around the clock to develop drugs that will knock you out without showing up on a drug screen, right? Because he doesn't want to get detected. So far, he's not been, right? So he must be doing something pretty sophisticated, right? So just your average drug test that you get at the pharmacy is not going to be enough to thwart Lindemann, because like I said, he probably has a lab, full-time chemist in his home. It's kind of like Lance Armstrong, right, when he was doing the Tour de France. So I have devised a special drug test that will pick up any slight alterations in the drink, even those that are undetectable to modern, police tests or pharmacy tests or what have you, right? And so I call this the Lindemann stick. The Lindemann stick, right? And it'll detect anything weird that Lindemann or Joe puts in your drink. Now, it may look to you like a pregnancy test, but don't be deceived. This is something, I've developed this myself. I've spent like 3 or 4 days cooking this up. The Lindemann stick will detect anything. So what you want to do, and as you see, it's like small, it's discreet, it looks like a pregnancy test. So you could, like if your friends see it, you'll be like, oh yeah, it's just my pregnancy test and not the Lindemann stick. But it's small, it'll go in your purse, what have you, right? And so what happens is, if you are given a drink, say you go to the before party or the after party or what have you, and you're given this drink by anyone in the band, and I mean, I don't even know if the women are safe, they're probably collaborators as well, the women in that band. You're given a drink by someone in the band, you can just like discreetly put it there, this down here, you want to keep it out of sight, and you open it. It's kind of hard to open. I have to work on the packaging, I guess, but don't have that kink figured out. Why is it so hard to open this test? Okay, there we go. All right, oh, you can't see it. Brett, what's up, Brett? Thanks for joining this late night chat, a chocolate bar. It kind of does. All right, so here we go. So this is the Lindemann stick, okay? And it's very simple. All you have to do is you take this off, okay? And then while no one's looking, and you can kind of move your drink down here if you need to, but while no one's looking, you're just going to, well, you can't really see, but you're going to dip this in, just the end there, and it only needs to be in there like a few seconds, and then you take it, you take it out. And then it's got this little like digital thing, you wait for a little while, and then it's going to come up negative or positive. And if it's positive, then that means you need to get the hell out of there because Lindemann probably spiked your drink. So, very important to have this, and I'm not even going to be asking much for them, like $10 a piece. I'm going to sell on my website and through Twitter and stuff, so I can rush it to you if you're going to Tuesday's concert, or I'll be there. Let's meet up. Maybe I should just hand these out outside, actually, these Lindemann sticks outside the Lindemann concert. I might think about doing that. Now, one of the things that a couple of the women who complained about Lindemann said was that he would get like so excited at these parties backstage that he would kind of go on this rampage and would like break stuff, you know, just for the hell of it. And they were like really scared and they didn't know what to do and whatever. And like, you know, and I'm sure it's terrifying too if you see, he's a big guy. If you see him like charging at you in a small confined room, you know, growling and whatever was going on, right? I'm sure that it's terrifying. So, you know, you can't bring weapons in, but I've got this mace here, and it's in this cute little pink diamond packaging. I don't even think that anyone searching bags would know what this is. And so this bear spray or whatever, this is sort of a last resort thing. Now, you don't just want to like whip this out on a whim, you know, because you might get in trouble if you're just like spraying it, you know, and it's a false alarm, right? You might get in some serious trouble. So this is basically for only if Lindemann is charging at you and you have like basically no recourse, no alternative, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, kind of like Kayla Schicks. How the hell was she going to get out of there, right? And so, you know, this last resort, pretty much put it anywhere, very, very helpful. Now, apparently Lindemann, if you go by some of these, you know, journalist hit pieces and so forth, and what some of these women have been saying, apparently Lindemann just really loves like inexperienced, younger women. And so one thing that you can do to protect yourself, and like in this case, I'm going to need to do this because I you know, look so much younger, you know, than my age, and he might think I'm 15. I think that it's a good idea to disguise your age. Make him think that you are older than you actually are. Or, in my case, you know, just indicate to him that I'm a middle-aged woman. And so, you know, you don't just like want to drop it in conversation that might be a bit awkward, or maybe you're not even like really talking and you just want to like silently give off a sign that I'm a mature middle-aged woman, that you're not going to at all be interested in manipulating or whatever to Lindemann. And so there's several things you can do here. One, you can walk around with an intellectual book that like a teenage fan would probably not be walking around with, right? So I took several books off my bookshelf just now, and these are all like kind of heavy, big books, and so they're going to look real intimidating, and Lindemann is going to see these books and he's going to be like, oh, okay, she's too smart for me, or she's too old for me, or whatever, you know, dried up, menopausal, what have you. So, got some books here. So this one, this is really thick, history book, inside the third, right, well, I don't know if that may not be, that may cause other problems, right? Because, you know, we all know that Lindemann's like a big fascist, so he might see this book and be like, damn, that's the kind of woman for me. Let me sit down and talk to that woman, right? But it is actually an interesting book. Albert Speer. Oh, you Germans, you know all about this shit, right? This is you. Woo! All right. Well, I don't know. I'm a little conflicted about the Third Reich book because it might send mixed signals, and I don't know. Lindemann might like that. So let's move on. What about this? This is another big one. Look at that. This is Philosophy by Ken Wilber. Sex, Ecology, and Spirituality, the Spirit of Evolution. Now that I look at it, though, I'm not sure, because it does have sex in the title, and Lindemann is such a sex maniac, as we know. He just might be set off by that. He won't even, you know, I'm afraid that he's going to see this book, and he's not even going to get to part 2, ecology. He's just going to see sex, and then he's just going to go nuts and go on some kind of a sexual rampage. So this may not be exactly what we want to go with either. Oh, here we go. This one's not as thick, but Western Civilization, Volume 2, From the Old Regime to the Present. This looks perfect. It looks boring. It looks intimidating. It doesn't look like something a teenage fan would be carting around. I think it's an old history textbook. Mine. Anyway, I think we're going to go with this. So this is a good example. You want to take this inside, and so if you see Lindemann coming over to you to flirt with you or something, then this is what you do. You don't have to say a word. You just pull this out and start pretend reading. Kind of like Amber Heard used to pretend read, like all those big books that she would bring to her movie sets so that she could show people, oh, I'm reading Hegel, Phenomenology of Spirit. That's probably how she got Elon Musk, right? No, we know how she got Elon Musk. It doesn't need to be said. Okay, so something else you can do if you don't want to be lugging around big books, you can just like take your passport or your ID and just, I'm not going to do it, but you can just like make a necklace and you can just kind of wear it, you know, like as a badge. So as if to say like, warning, you know, I'm an older lady. You will not be interested in me. But then I don't know, maybe you'd have to like open it to the actual page with your date of birth. That might be too much trouble. I don't know. Now, let's say that all of these measures that you take fail, all of them fail, and you find yourself alone with Lindemann, and you've just realized that you've taken a spiked drink. You know, what the hell do you do? What do you do? Okay? Well, there's like a last measure, okay, like a nuclear option, okay, that you can employ if you have to, if you don't know what else to do. All right? And this is what you do. This is called the consent box maneuver, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to basically like try to turn yourself into a turtle, and you're going to like pull your limbs in like this, right? You're going to pull your limbs in all of the way, cover your head, and you're just going to freeze like that, and you're just going to hold that position for, I don't know, 1 to 2 hours, 3 hours, however long it takes to lose interest. Okay, so it's called the consent box, and if it's done properly, if it's done correctly, it is like 99.9% impenetrable. Seriously. Now, some people are not well trained in the consent box. There are classes you can take. I've been thinking about doing one actually on YouTube, just a short 30-minute class, how to do an effective consent box maneuver. But it does take a little practice. So this is what I would suggest for you. And then I've got to go. I'm tired. Got to get up tomorrow. But this is what I'd suggest. Find a partner, whether it's your boyfriend, your girlfriend, husband, wife, mom, dad, whatever, and have them practice the consent box maneuver with you. And so they can role play, you know, they'll be Till Lindemann and they're coming on to you and whatever, and you don't know what to do because you can't speak or you're too young or stupid or what have you, right? And so you just need to practice getting into that consent box maneuver. Works like 99 times out of 100. I mean, I hear that they're teaching it now in rape prevention classes, honestly. So yeah, so those are my tips, and I'll be thinking of some more perhaps as my trip approaches, but yeah, Lindemann 2024, San Antonio, gonna be a great time, but stay safe out there, y'all. Good night.